We all know that AIDS kills. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, or perhaps who you hang around with. AIDS is a killer. Now you're wondering, how do we fare here in Niagara? Well, the answer is quite well, providing that we continue to stay safe. Getting sick and tired of hearing about AIDS? Well, it's better than being sick and tired with AIDS. The start of December marks World AIDS Day, a day to reduce fears and increase awareness that AIDS and HIV is something we should worry about. Not just one day, but every day. AIDS is a virus caused by HIV. HIV isn't deadly, but AIDS is. A person with HIV can live a long time without getting full-blown AIDS or even becoming sick. Alan Spencer is a worker at the Niagara Health Unit in St. Catharines. He says Niagara has less than 100 AIDS cases. However, HIV-positive cases are a little higher.
We've had a total of 94 cases of AIDS reported to the Medical Officer of Health in Niagara. That's cumulative since reporting began. If we're going to look at education, I can certainly say we've come a long way as well. Now, when I started here back in the early 80s, we didn't know much about AIDS at that time. We were educating young people and just about anybody who wanted to know about sexually transmitted diseases. And we started to talk about AIDS because people had a lot of questions, of course.
Around the world, there is near 1 million people with AIDS. However, the stats are a bit higher for those with HIV. 14 million, in fact. In Canada, there are well over 10,000 cases of AIDS. 50,000 Canadians have HIV. Ontario has Canada's highest ratio, 4,163 full-blown cases. There are about 18,000 HIV-positive people living in Ontario.
We certainly have come a long way from those early days where, as you say, people knew that there was a disease that was transmitting and was killing people, and there was no cure, and it was very frightening. Since that time, of course, we've identified what the cause is and identified very clearly what the transmission is. So I know exactly now what you have to do to contract the virus, and also what will not allow the virus to transmit. So I feel very confident that the things that educators have accomplished have been tremendous.
Education is the key. HIV can be contracted by sex, through drug use, and by blood transfusions, and even breastfeeding mothers.
Yes, we'd have to say the most common way is through unprotected sexual intercourse with someone who has HIV. In fact, worldwide, that seems to be the main way that HIV is transmitted. Whether it's male to male, male to female, or female to male, it transmits that way. The other common way would be by sharing a needle for any purpose. Most generally speaking, we're talking about injection drug use, but people who share needles for any purpose have a cause to be concerned. From a woman who has HIV, if she's pregnant, can transmit to her unborn child. Those are the main ways we're looking at it. There's never been a case of HIV transmit through saliva. Usually we talk about semen, vaginal or cervical secretions during sexual intercourse, and blood. Blood is very infectious with HIV. There's a few other body fluids that are infectious, but they're not the types of fluids that most people come in contact with.
Spencer says the health unit has a never-ending stream of info on sexually transmitted diseases information, HIV, and about the AIDS virus.
Well, we were very involved in the school system and other locations as well years ago. So we are still quite involved in the school system in Niagara, and of course it's mandated by law that every grade 7 or 8 student must have a lesson on AIDS, and then again in grade 9 or 10. That's a mandate to the boards of education.
Spencer believes that the more people communicate and learn about HIV and AIDS, the less confused we'll get.
Oh, we've certainly learned a great amount, and we're learning more all the time. Of course, every time you learn something, it seems that there's something else you realize you have to find out about HIV as well. There's a lot of research going on all the time, and into exactly what does HIV do to the body, but also how can we treat HIV once it is inside the body. To talk about a cure, I don't know that I can even comment on a cure, whether there ever will be such a thing as a cure. We can't cure any virus right now. I think what we're looking at with HIV is a treatment, whether it's medication or whatever, that will slow down or completely arrest the replication of HIV. I think that's what we're looking for first of all, is exactly that.
That's the Edge for this time. Next time we'll sing our hearts out at karaoke. We'll also see if you can keep your New Year's resolutions on the go, and we'll predict that we'll visit a psychic. That's right, a look beyond. Until next time, I'm Derek Jansen-Brown. Happy New Year, and we'll be on the edge.